I mean, Dave's having a great day. I still hear myself saying Dave. Because if they're not charged, they're not working, right? Oh my God, this is what I was waiting for. Stunning. Also, the colors are vibrantly offensive. So I didn't grow up watching much TV like most people my age, so I missed out on so much of pop culture and all the references, and apparently High School Musical was one of those. I don't know about you, but I am 100% not a musical person. I never have been, I never will be.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
And the literal High School Musical sounds like hell to me, but to each their own. It's just, once again, just my opinion. I most certainly would opt out of a school if that was an option and it was a high school and it was a musical, and the combination, not a great combo, but to each their own. That being said, this is the show that brought Vanessa Hudgens to fame and an absolute beautiful human being that she is. Thank you for blessing our screens with this architectural digest so we can look at another celebrity home and determine if it's good or bad. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not seen my videos before, my name is Phoenix Gray, aka Design Daddy, and this channel is all things interior design. Whether you're renting, renovating, or own, I'm here to help. You can also join my free design newsletter in the description box below, where I answer all of your most commonly asked interior design questions. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. Phoenix Gray, where you can see all my daily tips and tricks. I also have to include this disclaimer that this is just my personal and professional opinion. It is not meant to be taken to heart, and it is in no way, shape, or form meant to offend Vanessa Hudgens or anyone else watching. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's dive in. I've also only seen this home in photos. I have yet to watch the actual tour to see if it's any good. So this is my honest and live reaction. Let's get into it.
Hey AD, I'm Vanessa Hudgens. Welcome to my home. So this is the Little DeMille. It was built by Cecil B. DeMille for his mistress. This is the living space. Just loved this mohair sofa that I found at a vintage shop. I'm obsessed with this. It's this artist named Peter Tomka. He does these projection silver gelatin print. I love it.
That laugh was so staged. Okay, anyways, living room. Let's do a breakdown of this space. One, I love that she is into vintage and reclaimed furniture. I think it really adds to this overall kind of French chateau ambiance kind of style that she's going for. Front of the house was beautiful, and it depicts a lot of the specific details that you would have in this French chateau styled home. And I think the living room is really well done. It brings a good combination of that antique with a lot of those contemporary styles, like these travertine tables that still have that modern style to it, but still pull from those timeless approaches and the age, the materials. This room is really well done in my opinion. I honestly think these bookshelves are a little staged. They have all these old books that are falling apart. I got a feeling that's not what's actually there, because Architectural Digest is known to do some interesting staging techniques, as we've seen in the previous video with Dakota Johnson. We all know the lime issue. We're not gonna go there. She's allergic to limes, people, but they put them in there. We're gonna see what other items, were purposely put here, and if it surprises Vanessa Hudgens as well.
Also really love vintage books, finding old books.
Paused it way too fucking soon. Here I am making a comment about these old ass books, and she's like, I love vintage books. Okay, so maybe that's genuine. I also forgot to make a point that the herringbone floors, 10 out of 10. I love herringbone. I think it really adds so much dynamic style to a space, because it can look not only old and agey, but it has that contemporary modern aspect to it, which in my opinion, that style and pattern is timeless.
We have my one and only Natalie Wood. This I got because I was like, this would be so cool to have an old school clock, but it looks cute.
One thing I would have done in here, at least to kind of make this space feel a little bit more apt to the style and design direction, is clearly she has money. This space is pretty penny. The home itself, I'm sure, is quite expensive. But the TV itself, great place for where it's located. I would have done a frame TV. I would have done the same frame that actually matches these other two large scale posters on the other side. So it feels very consistent. The black box above the mantle kind of takes away from it. But you know, it's not too bad because the art is black and white. So it does have a little bit of consistency to it. That's my one key takeaway. Also, love the plants, and the amount of sun that comes in through these French doors is incredible.
When I bought the house, these doors were probably from the 50s. They did not open at all. My little breakfast nook that I'm very proud of. I got this wallpaper that I fell in love with. I got this made after a restaurant that I'm obsessed with in New York.
I also really love this breakfast nook. It's right off of the living room as you kind of come around the corner. Like she said on those doors, incredible that she really added that artistic level, but also that vintage kind of reclaimed wood to really make these doors match the rest of the style. It doesn't feel like that super contemporary hard edge that contrasts the space. It works so well. And I love the colors of the wallpaper, the banquette seating. This designer did an absolute incredible job so far. I am personally not a fan of the pattern of this wallpaper, but the colors of this work so well. It's fun, it's playful. 10 out of 10 for this one. I know you saw those lemons and limes in a bowl there. Just throwing it out there. Fucking lemons and limes everywhere. If you ever want to style a house, lemons and limes, that's all you need, apparently.
When I bought the house, this kitchen was very, very different. And so I took it upon myself to have a project. This tile is actually leftover tile from the remodel of my bathroom.
Okay, so you know what? The kitchen isn't my personal taste. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Yes, it works so fluidly with the overall design style and this very this French chateau style that we're really approaching, and this entire design direction I think works really well. Not a fan of that kind of green cabinet that's it's not really a green, it's kind of like a pastel-y look. I know green is all the rage for kitchens. Ever since Dakota Johnson's video, everyone's been doing them. It works really well. You know, the brass, the unlacquered brass throughout is also a nice, really beautiful touch to bring that sense of warmth. I also really like the contrast of those dark tiles and the hood fan that kind of really center and stabilize and ground that side of the kitchen instead of having it too white, because there are so many windows in that space. That's one thing you have to keep in mind with a kitchen renovation. If you have a lot of windows like this, it can get very bright, especially in LA, which means if you have too many lights and whites, that high reflectivity really can be off-putting in a space and really kind of takes away from the beauty of the kitchen. I also love that they have that reclaimed island in the middle that really adds to that style.
Here we have our dining room. I wanted it to feel very romantic. I wanted the table to kind of play off of the pattern of the floors, keep it really organic.
I'm gonna stop it right there because this dining room is anything but romantic. This is the first room that I am disappointed in. It seems like this room was kind of an afterthought in the overall design process. Yes, the woods, the finishes, everything else plays really well. Overall, it doesn't give me that kind of beautiful sense of intimacy that you would kind of want in a dining room that feels very welcoming and loving. This feels very stale. I probably would have done a different color in this area. I also love the wall sconces. I mean, once again, this could be a completely different look at night of when you want it to have that dining room, that level of really fun, beautiful style, but during the day, it doesn't do anything for me.
This is the powder room, which I just love so much. I found this wallpaper by House of Hackney. I had to have Richard Avedon portrait of Marilyn Monroe.
Okay, she's gonna go off talking about her art, but wallpaper, absolutely love. I think this wallpaper is so beautiful. It hints on those nice pink tones that complement the tiles quite well, but I hate the tiles. I'm not into them at all. Yes, they go with that style and the dated home, but that high gloss, avocado green that was like the hottest shit in like the 60s and 70s. I just feel doesn't work in the overall color scheme of this entire house so far. Yes, we have the green hints in the kitchen, but in the powder room, this is where you want to be fun and playful. I would have taken these tiles out and probably done the full perimeter in this wallpaper and had a larger scale art piece, so it feels like this room is actually grander and more fun. The tiles at this halfway point, or actually it looks like it comes up even higher, the halfway point. I'm not sure how tall Vanessa Hudgen is. I'm sure she's quite short. This makes the space look super small. Committing to having that full wall as the wallpaper would have made this really tiny powder room feel much larger.
This is by an artist named Kater Boley. This piece, my girlfriend, her husband is the artist.
I love rich people because they have the money for art.
You look poor. You look broke ass.
And I will always be a true advocate for real living artists, so I can really appreciate that. I love that she had like that neutral kind of common area for the staircase going up to the second floor, and the art is what speaks for itself in this area, which I love.
This is my bedroom. I found this piece by an LA artist named Eliza Valenti. For some reason, I just really fell in love with the idea of orange for my bedroom. I'm obsessed with this quilt. It's from Nikki Kehoe and it's reversible.
I'm gonna stop her right there. Orange, you know what? If that's her color, it works really well. I feel like there's like, you know, the yellow and the orange play a little bit too warm in this space. Also, what is the deal with celebrities not having headboards? And the bed is just, you know, this floating bed with these two single pillows that have been styled. A headboard honestly does a world of wonders for the design and look of your space. Yes, she has one piece of art above the bed, but a headboard would have made such a beautiful impact. And I feel like actually tie all of these different varying heights together. Wall sconces I love. Color palette I think works really well. She's right, she's got a lot of feminine colors, forms, everything is a soft kind of pattern. Even like the curves in a lot of the decor as well work really well. She's got a lot of crystals. Not a crystal fan, but I mean, you know, if those are charging in the moonlight in the evening, if they do wonders for you, then by all means, leave them out to charge. She hasn't even started talking about it. It's literally just showing the clips of these pictures because these pictures is what I have seen online. And let me tell you that in person, well, not obviously in person, but on video, this translates to exactly what I personally love. I love a dark and moody and sexual bathroom, and this gives all of those vibes. Yes, I understand not everyone wants a sexual bathroom, but this is incredible. That dark, like what looks like this Venetian plaster or micro cement all the way around, the dark tiles, the dark vanity, that light veined marble, like she just said, that matches what she has for her nightstands, the brass finishes, that alcove that matches so perfectly with the curvature of this tub. 12 out of 10 so far. Now let's get into it and let her talking about it.
This is my bathroom, one of my favorite places in the house. I worked with Jake Arnold to design the space. This bathtub that I spend so much time in. All the faucets I wanted to be brass, so naturally I went to Waterworks. And we did it with the wood on it. So where I shower.
I wish I could have a shower that's like dark and moody like that and has that beautiful big window right there. I mean, she obviously has a backyard, so not anyone's like looking in. So if you're worried about privacy, I'm sure she's got that covered. But this bathroom, honestly, if I didn't see anything else in the house, this is what I absolutely love. The brass, every detail down to the texture works so well. Keep this in mind though, she does have a lot of natural light coming into this bathroom, and that's why these dark colors work so well. Usually I would not recommend doing a black bathroom if you don't have a proper amount of light, but this, chef's kiss.
Of course, everyone loves living in LA for the outdoor space. The ivy over this house is one of my favorite things ever.
I mean, living in Canada and getting like 6 to 8 months of like shitty, gray, cold weather. And then I see this, I'm like, oh, why do we live here? Why do we live in darkness when we could live in LA and have perfect weather almost all the time? This backyard is like the perfect getaway oasis. Like, I would think that I'm in like the south of France right now if I were back here. It feels like this really private chateau, you know, the style, all these little details and the greenery that surrounds this entire house. And like she mentioned, all the ivy that's growing on it is so perfect. Like, this home is perfectly aged and I feel like matches her style quite well.
One of my friends found this chair at a vintage store. I'm obsessed. So when I moved in, this was just a white wall, and I was like, that seems like such a wasted opportunity. So I found this artist, Carly Kuhn. She also did these. We call them the lovers.
I love that. Once again, my comment to rich people and being able to afford living artists like that. But I think this is a really great opportunity to share that, like, there's so many blank canvases around your home, interior and exterior, that work so well that you can add something so minimal like this that really adds a beautiful detail and artistic approach. And yes, I know I'm gonna make a comment about that mirrored chair because that's not my vibe. That's the one thing I don't like about outside so far.
So this is the guest house. As you can see, we have all of my Teen Choice Awards. We should just put them out somewhere.
Those are the ugliest looking awards I think I've ever seen. Like, it's literally a surfboard. Dude, if I ever get an award, make sure it is not a surfboard because I have no room to put that shit anywhere. But other than that, you know, appreciation for the art and craft that it's an award. This like guest house, once again, beautifully designed. I really like the built-in all around, that really lounge kind of laxed feel to it. This is the perfect kind of hangout spot, like she said, is like a TV room. I feel like this gives more of that kind of contemporary approach style that's more livable and less staged when you actually want to be comfortable in your own home.
I really wanted a place that you can just run around in. Just run around, and it's so nice to have a space that's open in LA that just allows me and my friends to feel like big kids.
I love that. That is the perfect comment to just feel like you're big kids. You've made it in life when you can have that space you've always wanted as a child. This outdoor space is an absolute dream. Having all of these fruit plants that just really kind of overtake the entire grounds are so cool. I love this. This is like the perfect personal little park. Like, as we continue to look like this, I would not think this is in LA, which they did so well in the overall design and the architecture and build of this entire home so far.
This is another thing I love about the house. Gas lanterns. These lanterns really did it for me.
I love gas lanterns, but like she mentioned, they have such a beautiful appeal to them because they are naturally lit. They give that really beautiful glow in the evening. The one downside about this is that they are a disaster and a fire hazard waiting to happen, even with any protocols and safe locks put in place in them, especially living in California that has, you know, drought sometimes where there's a fire hazard. Also very earthquake prone. These are gas powered, which means they are dangerous explosive waiting to happen, but I can very much appreciate them.
And that is my home. Thank you, AD, so much for coming and checking out my house.
And that's it. That is the recap. That's probably one of the longest AD reviews that I've done because it was a much longer video. But honestly, out of everything in this house, the only thing I did not like was the dining room. I loved every other detail. I think it works so well. Jake Arnold is a great interior designer, and the home itself, that is another thing. The amount of times I see the architectural style of a home that doesn't match the interior, everything in here is cohesive, and wow, it's very rare that I don't have anything bad to say about these homes. Besides this dining room, everything here is done so well. Everything is curated so perfectly down to the art, the decor, the furniture. I'm going to give this an overall 9 out of 10, which is probably one of my highest ratings on the Architectural Digest reviews. I'm genuinely impressed. Out of all the celebrity houses, this feels like a home. Yes, I'm sure there's a few parts that are like actually staged, but this looks livable. This looks so happy and warm and lively. Like, Vanessa Hudgens, if you see this, in the odd chance that you see this, know that I love your home. And I love you, even though I didn't watch High School Musical, nor do I like musicals. That's who I am. I will come over 100% if you invite me over for a party, because in your backyard in the evening, stunning. Absolutely stunning. Sometimes I love seeing how out of touch celebrities are with us common folk, and sometimes I cry on the inside knowing that from a designer's perspective, the cost of some of these items, well, let's just say, are out of my tax bracket. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. Phoenix Gray, where you can see all my daily design advice. And if you're ever second guessing yourself, just ask, what would Design Daddy do? Love it.